Hello, I'm Jim. Welcome to our mini tour of the pre-finished Moose Van. Now the Moose Van was named such because it is the vehicle that my wife Susan and I use to transport us between our home in Ohio and our little condo in Colorado, which is called the Modern Moose. So that's where the Moose Van name came from. At any rate, it's not finished yet. I think we're 80% finished. So I wanted to just show you what we have so far so you get an idea of what's going on and hopefully an idea of what it's going to look like ultimately when we finish it up. Right? Let's get started. This is a 2024 Ram ProMaster 3500 and it's a 159 extended super high roof chassis. And so what that gives us, among other things, is the ability to put a bed at the ceiling and stand under it with actual clearance. So we'll start the tour on the outside, although it's a crazy windy day. Alright, so walking around the outside, you'll see that we have running boards for the passenger as well as driver's side. We also have a Pneumatic Innovations awning. It's a legless awning and it's all electric, so we just push a button and it comes out, we push a button it comes back in, and it has LED lights on it. You'll also notice that we have two Arctic windows installed, and I'll show you those in more depth as we get inside. Okay, let's go on inside and take a look. So this is the living room as well as the bedroom. Currently it's in living room mode, so the bed is up at the ceiling. This is a HappiJac system with a queen size bed. And in the living room mode we have an L-shaped sofa here, but also we have a pass-through to go right into the driving cab area. So that's not only for us to get in and out, but also for the dogs. We have a partition wall, and the partition wall does a couple things for us. One is it protects us while we're driving in the event of an accident. Anything that may be back here and flying forward will not necessarily hit us in the back of the head. Two, it also provides the structure for the HappiJac bed, so two of those supports are here. And we have a curtain that goes across here, so we can put that curtain up for privacy, as well as it helps maintain the temperature in the living space of the van. One of the things I thought was important was to have light switches close to where the lights are. It makes sense from the perspective of understanding that this switch is for this set of lights, and this switch is for this set of lights. We also have lights in the overhead compartment here, and that's also on a dimmer. And we have two different compartments here. I have a lower compartment that's accessible in living room mode, and we have an upper compartment that's accessible in bedroom mode. So the items in the upper compartment are typically things we'll use, like pillows, extra blankets, things like that. And then in the living room mode, we have things like, well, currently I just have, these are the window covers for the back windows, but we'll put jackets and we'll put things that we need to have, quick access to up here. So the primary construction of all of our furniture is extruded aluminum, sometimes called 80-20. So the type we're using is a 1-inch profile, so 1-inch by 1-inch bar with T-slots. And you can put them together in many different configurations and build practically anything you want. So all of these benches are made with the extruded aluminum. You can see here, the profile here has a flat side here, but then on the other parts of it you have the T-slots. And all of this is storage under here. So each of these panels can come off. They're just attached with magnets. So you can pull them off and then you can reattach them with the magnets, and they snap in place and they hold up really well while we're driving down the road. So all three of these cabinets are storage, and that storage goes all the way through to the front. So if we have something long, we can actually get it all the way up in there and hide it really well. This side is the electrical system. So we have a battery here, the AC/DC distribution panel here, and then here is our hub, which is the brains of the EcoFlow Power Kit system. So you can turn it on and off here. We have some controls here, and we have our shutoff for the solar back here. Now, none of these panels have handles on them because we hardly ever need to get to them. So if we do need to get to them, we just remove this cushion and both of these come up and we can reach in there and pop the panels out and we can do any maintenance we need to do. But for the most part, we don't have to touch any of this. In the living room, we have two cabinets. So this cabinet we just took a look at, it houses the electrical system, and it has a nice countertop. These are solid surface countertops from Wilson Art. It's called Thinscape, and this is a really nice, lightweight, DIY friendly solid surface countertop. I did all of the fabrication myself for the countertops with common household tools, so nothing special required. It turned out really nice. This side has a couple of drawers, and these drawers are attached on the back with magnets, so it takes a little bit to get them open. And currently I've got some tools and other things in here, but this is a nice, really deep cabinet. And I've got this cabinet here, also really nice and deep. All of the drawers are made out of 1/2-inch Baltic birch plywood, very solid material. And all of the drawer fronts and cabinet fronts are pre-finished birch 3/4-inch plywood. Underneath this cabinet is the heater. This is a 14,000 BTU heater that runs off of the gasoline tank of the van. So there's no separate fuel required. It literally taps into the existing gas tank, and it doesn't use that much gas. If I were to run this for 24 hours straight, it would use less than 1 gallon of fuel. So ultimately I'll add additional finishings here. So I need to add a curved piece here, and I need to add the panels down here. So the next step here before I add these panels is to do the ducting of the heater. So I'll have a trunk coming off of it and one heat outlet here, another one in the kitchen, and another one all the way back in the bathroom. So until I do all of that duct work, I'm not going to add these panels. You also might notice that this area right here is a little awkward, and that's temporary. On both sides here and mirrored on the other side there, there is this section here which is unfinished. Ultimately, we're going to have a box that goes across this entire length here and probably stops either here or here. And it's going to be something like this dimension, so you can store things in that. We're also going to have power in there, so not only normal 110 plugs, but also USB-A and USB-C types of inputs here, so you can charge devices, and that's on both sides. You'll also have a shelf system here and a smaller shelf system here. So you'll be able to put things, keys or dog leashes or dog treats or whatever. So all of that will go here eventually on both sides. And here are the Arctic Touring windows from inside. So they all open like this, awning style, and will lock in place where you put them. This is a dual pane acrylic, so that does add some R value for insulation purposes. And they do have the built-in blinds as well as bug screens. The interior has marine vinyl on many of the panels, and then marathon tweed fabric for accent pieces around the van. So these cushions are made with Sunbrella fabric. Sunbrella fabric is what's often used in boats or patio furniture, so it's a little bit water resistant and stain resistant. All right, now we're going to go from living room mode to bedroom mode. So I'm in the kitchen and I'm pressing the button to lower the HappiJac bed. This is a queen size bed. It's a RV short queen, which means it still is 60 inches wide, but it's only about 73, 74 inches long. So, you know, that's not quite the 80 inches that you're accustomed to, but it works really well for us. And when we put it all the way down in its lowest position, I still have some space under there. It doesn't go all the way down to the countertops, and it stops on its own. So if you do want to have additional people sleeping underneath here, that is safe to do, and I think there's plenty of room. Now you can also see the overhead storage where we keep our pillows and blankets, so that's now accessible. And then we step into the kitchen area here. A couple things to note about our kitchen. First, it is about 7 feet tall. So I mentioned earlier this is the super high roof ProMaster, and it does have over 7 feet of clearance inside. So in the living room area, that's taken up partially by the bed, but in here you can see the true height that you have to work with. So we've got our 40-volt air conditioner here. We have our max air fan back here, so this is used for exhaust from cooking as well as the bathroom. And this is the same countertop here. So this is 6 feet long, and this part right here is 30 inches deep. So this is a very large kitchen countertop, and it's also the Wilson Art Thinscape countertop, and I did all the fabrication for this as well. I just finished working on the backsplash, so I do have most of this backsplash done on the back wall and the outlets installed, but I haven't yet installed these switches. So that's next on my list. And that's why I don't have these lights on right now, so we're using additional lights currently for the tour. We do have drawers here. We have a really nice long drawer here. And then this one is a little bit of a more shallow drawer, because tucked back in here is our hot water heater right behind there. So that makes it a lot easier for me to service that. If I need to get to it, I just pop the drawer out and get back in there and then service that. Okay. There will be cabinet doors here. This is a 38-gallon water tank. We have one on each side over the wheel wells, so that distributes the weight quite evenly in the van. These will be connected to each other, so it will be all part of one system. It doesn't give us a lot of storage under here, but we will figure out something. And then we will have the panels, the door panels here to match these. We're also going to have a door panel here, access back in this area. So let's take a quick look on this side of the kitchen. We do have a refrigerator that has a lot of storage plus a freezer compartment. And this is a 12-volt refrigerator. We have a microwave here. This is a special microwave that doesn't have a turntable and doesn't have an LED light. And I did that on purpose because the turntable would rattle as we drive down the road, and the LED light would be on while we're trying to sleep. So, just solving problems. This will ultimately be a large wardrobe, so this is a ton of storage. There might be shelves in here, or it might just be one large open, no, there will be shelves. There will be shelves in here, as well as the ability to hang things on hangers. So it might be a small space for hangers, and the rest of it compartments and storage with one or two doors here covering it. I have another storage compartment here. Again, it will be different size shelves, and it will have one or two doors. I don't know if I'm going to have a door up top and a door on the bottom, or one large door to open or close. That's still to be determined, but this is a lot of storage. There's a drawer under the microwave that goes in here. I have not put that in yet, but it's a similar concept, a similar type of design as we have over here. On vans that aren't super high roof, you lose about 10 inches of space, and when that happens, a lot of the cabinets they'll put in those vans are the type of cabinets you see on the airplanes. They lift up like this. Well, because we have the extra height, I thought it would be a lot nicer to put in standard types of cabinets. So these are 20 inches tall, and we have a lot of storage up here. The top one is a flip up because we had to have this cut out for over the sink. But this is just a ton of storage, all on soft close. Now these back here in the back are a little more difficult to get to, but for these two cabinets, it's stuff that you don't use every day, right? It's just long-term storage things, or you may have to dig something out if you actually need it. But your main cabinets are going to be here, and your main drawers are going to be here, and that's quite a bit of storage. So we don't have a cooktop built into the kitchen countertop. We do have a separate small induction cooker that we're going to be able to hide under here and then bring out and use it whenever we want. So we could use it here, or we could even take it outside if we wanted to cook outside. Now we're in the bathroom. So this is about a 24-inch hallway here, and the toilet sits in this cabinet and just rolls out for use, and then rolls back away when you're not using it. And there's going to be a double door here, and when the double door is closed and we put the waterproof cladding on this wall, then this all becomes a waterproof shower area. So this will be a waterproof wall, waterproof door. There'll be a tambour style door that rolls out and goes across this area and covers this entire section for the shower. And then this is the shower wall here. The shower head will sit up at this height, and then we'll have light switches and things like that here. We'll have all the shower controls here. The heater duct comes out here for the heating, and then down at the very bottom is where we have all of the electrical and plumbing that'll run underneath this floor here. This floor will be raised about 5 inches to account for the shower pan and our recirculating shower system. So we're not going to have a traditional van shower where it's glued directly to the floor and the drain goes directly outside the van. We're going to have all of that contained within the van, and then we'll have it drained somewhere else. This is going to be the vanity for the kitchen. This is the vanity for the bathroom. We're going to have the same black countertop here as we do in the rest of the van. We have a nice round vessel sink to sit here, and a bathroom faucet that goes here. So this will also be waterproofed, and we'll have a waterproof door on it. And then we're going to have a medicine cabinet up here, probably, you know, maybe 5 inches out from the wall and straight up like this. Also waterproof with waterproof doors on it. That was the quick tour of the Moose van. I'm going to do a more lengthy tour at the end when we've actually finished building. I just thought at this point it would be nice to stop and reflect on what we've got so far, because now is when it first started coming together with a floor plan with the panels and the drawers and the construction of the kitchen and the bathroom, where you can start to see how everything's gonna turn out, right? You can visualize from here what the end product is gonna be. So hopefully you enjoyed this quick mini tour of the pre-finished Moose van. And if you want to see more in-depth videos on the build process, just subscribe to my channel and you'll be able to follow us as we finish up the van. See you next time.